And Keith, do we think the amount of snow that has already fallen sufficient for people to enjoy next week worth of holiday skiing?
Skiing, yes.
Yeah.
Like, snowmobiling is the biggest, most dependent on like real snow. But at this point, especially the bigger skiers that are owned by a big company, they can make so much snow.
So it works out.
Yeah, it's not as good as natural, but like they got it. They got it.
So what about snowmobile? Probably, depending on where you are in the state, probably.
That's a good question.
little
I
on the
haven't
thin
heard
side?
a whole lot. I would imagine northern Maine in the mountains has enough snow because it hasn't melted off. Although they did have that rainstorm, so it's kind of tough. That's one I'm not as connected with because I've never really spent any time doing it. But I think for most people, the skiing will be okay. There's some ice fishing going on in a couple spots as well, and it is going to solidify that part of it this weekend as it gets much, much colder. Today we were actually above average, but if you were outside at all, you'd say, really? It didn't feel that way. 42 in Portland, 44 in Westcasset, but the winds were a little aggressive, gusting out of the northwest 20 to 30 miles an hour. Northwest winds are only really good in the summer. Any other time of year, usually, they're bringing in some pretty cold air and they're pretty stiff, and that's what's happening here as the colder air filters in tonight and through tomorrow. Quickly down to the single digits into the mountains, but then we're kind of flatten out through the second half of the night as more clouds come in and insulate us. Temperatures only in the 20s, though, tomorrow, and a lot of clouds. And a couple of small scale, what we call mesoscale models, are hinting at the potential for some ocean-enhanced snow right along the coast here in York County into Cumberland County too. This is tomorrow about middle of the day into the afternoon. So we'll keep an eye on that. They're not always great at picking up on it, but they're showing you something there over southern Maine. And that storm we talked about for Friday night, Saturday, that I really didn't trust all week. I thought it would end up farther west than computer models said it was going to. It finally shifted last night farther west. So it's closer to us. And even though most of it's going to miss us, here on Friday night, we'll catch a little snow along the coastline, and especially just because of the curvature of our coast here. Down East Maine, we'll see, I think, likely some accumulating snow Friday night into Saturday morning. This thing is out of here for Saturday morning, and it's a breezy and cold day on Saturday with not a ton of sunshine on the way to a very cold day on Sunday. So this is kind of a weird snowfall map, but dusting to up to an inch possible along the coastline, and then 1 to 3, I think, into Washington and Hancock County. Out towards Lubec, if this thing trends at all farther west, they could get 6 inches of snow. I mean, it's right there on the edge of possibilities for them. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on it because it already got a little farther west than it was before. Sunday's really cold in the teens. Look at Sunday night. Even along the coast, single digits. I'm going to probably take that 10 and knock it down. That's a bit of a bias for computer models because it's near the ocean, but the ocean doesn't matter if the winds are out of the northwest. Below zero in Greenville into Berlin, New Hampshire too, so it'll be a very, very cold night, coldest of the season so far. A couple snow showers coming in maybe on Christmas Eve. Doesn't look like a big deal. Maybe just enough to put a little festive flake in the air. So yeah, it's going to be cold coming through here. It's funny, as you know, I've been working on a project at my house, and we're just getting our auxiliary heat installed on Monday morning. So that'll be just in time, or actually just a little late. But it looks cold into about the middle of the week, and then it starts to moderate a little bit.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, Keith.